Today we're going to take a look at a story maker GPT call with a special system message which returns kind of like structured output which we can parse and save into files separately without needing to use function calling. As you see, we were able to parse the plot, characters, the story, and the timeline of the story as they were generated. Plot, characters, timeline, and story. This is part of an effort I'm putting forward to actually create a Everything GPT API crash course, going through all the basics. I'll talk more about it here in the video. Let's just talk about the story maker first. So we have our imports at the top, and we have our API key set. And then we define a story maker, which takes in a genre. This is a function. We are going to get a response from GPT 3.5 Turbo. Even 3.5 Turbo is surprisingly good with stuff like this. Our system message is as follows. You're a masterful story generator. You'll be given a genre for a story, and your task is to briefly generate a brief plot for the story, then 5 characters with brief descriptions and a series of timeline events which will highlight the story, then generate the story in a way so it later can be expanded upon, so that, you know, it's like a brief, it's like a synopsis of a story. I mean, you could have also done it otherwise. And then we are asking it to follow this structure in your output. So kind of like HTML tags, I'm saying plot and end plot, characters and end characters, timeline and end timeline. In the middle, I'm saying plot here, characters goes here, timeline of event go here, story goes here. And I say always insert the tags with these so we can parse them accurately, okay? And then as the user role, we are only inputting genre dynamically, which is the input to this function. And we have temperature set to 1. We have 3000 MEX tokens. We do have streaming responses, and this is how we get them. And then we return those responses. We print them as they're generated, and we return the responses. Now, then this is the part where you actually make your call, right? We call the function with some kind of genre. Here, in this case, AI, sci-fi, fantasy. Then these responses will be attached to the story outline. Then we switch to current directory, so we make sure that, you know, our files are written here. Then we just use simply the text string tools to actually look for what's in between these tags, which we have specified. And then we get the plot, characters, timeline, and story, and then we simply write it into a file within our current directory, each and every one of them. Let's run this again to see how it works, how it is working. As you see, it's very good with this. It does say plot and plot. This is the general plot, and then it defines the characters in between the correct tags, and then the timeline, and then the story. So it's I'm assuming it's better able to generate the story for having generated the previous stuff first, and then we were able to successfully save all this as the plot, characters, timeline, and the story itself. So I hope you found this useful. Code files for this will be available with Patreon, but when you go there, you'll actually, if you do choose to become a patron, you'll be able to find all these files here as well. Also, other short videos. So the way I structured this course is currently I'm still working on it. I'll be updating the post with more content. It is the basics, going through, you know, the basics of chat, completions, and then the parameters, explaining what each parameters is. In chapter 2, I go into like logit bias and whatnot and explain some of the more interesting parameters, such as frequency penalty, streaming response. And I have 3 examples: story maker, email writer, travel guide. You'll have access to those as well. And then function calling basics and getting function arguments. I did run into some issues using GPT-4 with function calling. Do let me know in the comments if you are experiencing that. I'm not sure what's going on there. But this is it. Link will be in the description. I'll be, developing this content, and I want to kind of do this before the dev day. Try to add as much of it as possible here. Maybe I'll do the same with Llama Index, LangChain, AutoGen, and maybe with Rivet. So I'm really looking forward to building these. I'll of course continue making my usual videos, exploring interesting topics. Do let me know what you think of it at Discord. Link will be in the description or as a comment. And if you do choose to become a patron, I appreciate it very much. Thank you for watching.